What up, guys? J&J Sports and Fantasy coming back with another video today. Today, we're going to be covering the Thanksgiving Day game. So we've got the Packers versus the Lions. We've got the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, and then we've got the Ravens versus the Bengals. That is what we're going to be covering. Going to be covering our picks. Let me know what you guys think. It is Jesse and RJ. RJ, what you got for him?
What's up, everybody? Like Jesse said, we are going to be going over all of the Thanksgiving Day games. This is going to be our picks. And if you're watching the video instead of just listening to us, we don't have the picks typed out. It is just a happy Thanksgiving message for everybody that's out there. We hope you eat a lot of food, have fun with your family, spend some time together. Uh, if you're listening, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and if you're also listening, go over to the J&J Sports and Fantasy TikTok page. We give out daily NBA picks, football picks, and soon I might be transitioning into giving out some hockey picks to anybody that watches hockey. So, if you're into that kind of thing, go over to the TikTok, hit us up. We're posting videos pretty much every single day over there. But with this video, since nothing's typed out, just sit back, relax, have a drink. You're going to listen to us talk, and we're going to give you our picks. You might have to write it down, or you can pull up your sports book and put it in as we say it, whatever works for you. But game one on Thanksgiving Thursday, Jesse, what are you throwing on the book?
Absolutely nothing. I'm going to be not a delusion. I'm not going to be a delusional Packers fan. I am not doing anything for that game. I just don't like it. Uh, I do think the Packers are going to win. So if you want to take them as an underdog, because they are the underdog for this game, do that. But that's just the Packers fan and me talking. I do think they are going to win. So that's just it from me. I'm staying away from the game.
Well, as,
What you got?
as your friend, and I know that you're a Packers fan, and I know you want to stay away from it for official channel purposes, I'm going to bet for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, because surprisingly, the Packers are the underdogs in this game. So I'm going to take the Packers at plus 4.5. Currently on the sports book, they're plus 3 on the spread. But the way I see it, if you're going to beat the team that I'm going for, you got to beat them by more than that last 30-second field goal that you can walk off and say, "Oh, we won." No, you're going to have to beat them outright more than by a field goal. So I got them at plus 4.5. I'm looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown for 5 receptions. And on DraftKings and FanDuel, sometimes they offer this bet. It's called the either or anytime touchdown. So if you can get on there, I'm looking for an either or Josh Jacobs or Jahmyr Gibbs, or an either or Amon-Ra St. Brown or Romeo Dobbs. You can mix and match however you guys want to do it, but those are the three picks that I'm looking for Packers versus Lions. How do you feel about that? Because I know you're not going to want to put anything on it because of how you feel about the game, but based on what I said, how do you think that's going to go?
So I'm almost positive that Josh Jacobs is going to get in the end zone. Uh, they are at least going to score. I do think Josh Jacobs is going to be the one that gets in the end zone. Um, Matt LaFleur is just a play. Whenever he freaking calls plays, it's always, let's run the ball straight up the middle. I'm going to see a lot. I anticipate a lot of Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. That's what I anticipate from this game. Um, and a lot of play action passes. I don't see any, like, if we're in shotgun, it's because we're down. And that's literally the only reason why that's the only thing I really see happening in this game. Um, I That's why I don't like it. Plus, the Packers defense is the top five defense. That is pretty much, like, everybody knows that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know about the, like, just the Lions offense in general because of that. Because, well, the defensive line is getting there like almost every single play, and it's just really, really hard to just say, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Especially since last game the Packers shut them down. It was complete domination on every single part of the field. The Packers just overwhelmed them in that. So it's just hard to predict what's going to happen for this game, especially. And this game has such high stakes for what's going to, like, what you want to happen. So it's just tough to predict, in my opinion.
No, I definitely think they gave us some very good games to watch on Thanksgiving. I'm extremely happy with the slate that they gave us. And I'm excited to see what happens because I want my bet to hit, but I think the Packers can, at least if and when I say if, I say big if they lose, I think they'll keep it close enough that it's a field goal or less, which I know you don't want to hear
See that
anything
happening
about the
as well.
Packers losing.
Nah, but it's not that surprising for me to think that they're going to lose. Like I said, I'm delusional, but I'm not that delusional.
At
Um,
at least
I
that's a
do
good
I do
thing.
I you know every time I go into a game, I'm like, okay, I think we could definitely win this every single game. But there are some games I'm like, okay, we can't. We do have a chance to lose, and this is one of those games where we do have a chance to lose. But every single team that we go up against, I'm fully confident we can beat every single time, just because of that defense. The defense is working wonders every single time.
Y'all do have one of the best defenses, and it's hard to argue against that defense. But the only thing is, the Lions are also known for having a good defense, but I think they're just not quite as good as the Packers.
Especially that, and I don't think the corners are just a bigger, weaker spot when it comes to that. The corners for the Lions are a bigger, weaker spot than the corners for the Packers, and in my opinion.
So, what are we looking like for game two? What do you got something for game two?
Game two, I've got plenty. Game two, I've got plenty. So I've got Patrick Mahomes to get over 225 pass yards, so that is so that or more. And then I've got George Pickens for 5+ receptions, so he can get 5 or more. I've got Rashi Rice for 4+ receptions. I've got Dak Prescott for 200 pass yards, and then I've got Travis Kelsey for 4+ receptions. When I was putting this into the sports book, guys, they're predicting a shootout. That's what they're predicting, a shootout.
Oh, really? I
And
haven't
I
even
don't know.
looked.
It's yeah. When I was putting this into the sports book, they were just predicting a big shootout, and I don't know if we should be predicting all that, but it's something that I could see definitely happening. So gosh, it's there. The lines are way over. So don't expect that to pay out too much. That's what I'm going to say to that. To that.
No, I think I haven't looked at the sports book yet because I've had just a lot going on since I got home. But I think me and you are on the same wavelength when it comes to the to the bets because your bet is almost identical to mine. So I was looking for Patrick Mahomes at 225, Dak Prescott 200, Pickens 5 receptions, and Rice to get 5 receptions. That was my four leg. And I think that's almost exactly what you said.
Yeah. It's just it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard. Um, I don't. That's it's
Who's the
hard
underdog?
to just say like
I'll
who's the
add I'll
underdog.
add I'll add
It's
something
it's
live.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys are the underdog. Let's see what the spread is.
Yeah.
I'll add something live for our listeners because I don't want to have to double up the bet because I mean me and you think a lot alike and we bet a lot alike, which is not a bad thing, but we we give similar. You know what? Let's do. So the Cowboys are the underdog, like you said, and they're giving them 3.5 points. Let's take Cowboys plus 3.5 on that. So that way they have to win by more than a field goal because if they just get a walk off field goal, that point 0.5 will save you from losing. So got to win by more than a field goal. I'll take it. Make it a 5 leg. I don't know how it's going to work out for me, but we'll take that. I like going the American way. Every American likes a good underdog story. Let's take Cowboys plus 3.5 against the Kansas City Taylor Swift Chiefs.
I could definitely see it happening. 100%. Do do I think it's gonna happen? No.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, hey, it's okay. It's Thanksgiving. We're going to be eating food. We're going to have some drinks. So if I lose one bet, it's okay because I'm also going to be betting on, and if you guys are listening, I'm also going to be betting on NBA. And if there's hockey games going on, I'm going to try and put something together for hockey because I just recently started betting on hockey. Me and Jesse had the conversation. I just started betting on it yesterday. I put in 2 bets yesterday and went 2 for 2. I put in 2 bets today and went 1 for 2 in hockey. So we're not doing bad. So you guys might be getting some NHL picks from me on the TikTok and on the YouTube shorts. So, because I have a friend of mine, shout out Doug and Glenn for putting me on to hockey, because it's actually not bad. And I would say, Jesse, I know we don't watch or really understand how hockey works, but if you get on the sports book and you look at some games that like you would look at an NBA or a football game with like records and stuff, definitely
Yep.
take spreads, like underdogs on spreads, or if you take the favorites on money lines. If you just put 2 or 3 together, it's usually pretty solid. Like, I feel like there's less sports book / Vegas intervention in hockey than there is football and basketball. That's
Heck
just my
yeah.
that's just my take off of 2 bets, because in 2 days I'm 3 for 4, and I definitely could be wrong, as I dig deeper into it, but so far it's looking good, and I'm about it. But last game for Thanksgiving Day, what do you like?
For Thanksgiving Day. For Thanksgiving Day, I've got Derrick Henry to go over 60 rush yards, pretty much a guaranteed hit. Then I've got Lamar Jackson for over 200 pass yards. If you checked out the TikTok, I do have it for 175. I did bump it up for 200. I just think it's pretty much guaranteed against this horrible Bengals defense. I was not thinking about that. Um, then I've got Zay Flowers for 5+ receptions. I do think that's going to happen. And then I've got Jamar Chase for 5+ receptions. I did change that as well. It's Jamar Chase, guys. Last time he played the Bengals, while everybody was healthy, he had an amazing game. So I did think good things are going to happen for Jamar Chase. Um, that's what I got. Let me know what you guys think about that. What do you got? What do you got?
So, what I'm looking at for the final game of Thanksgiving Day football, the game that everybody's going to be watching when they're full and they're sitting on the couch and everybody's having family time, yelling at their TVs, half buzzed and extremely tired of their extended family being in their house. I'm looking for it is the return of the prodigal child, Joe Burrow. I'm looking for Jamar Chase to get 5 receptions. I might bump it up to 6, because I mean he's just a monster. We're looking for Lamar Jackson to get 200. I'm looking for Joe Burrow to get 200. He's coming back off injury. I know he's probably been practicing. He's itching to get on the field, but the Ravens being his first opponent, I don't want to go crazy. I normally take Burrow for like 250 minimum, but with everything going on, I'm gonna drop him at 200, just as a let's see. And then the final leg, if you guys have been following the channel and the TikToks and all that, Derrick Henry has been on my ban list since like week 3, with good reason. I gave him like unlimited chances. There's got to be at least 5 or 6 episodes and probably 8 TikToks where I've put Derrick Henry on my bet slip, and he is the reason that those slips sold. Everything else hit but Derrick Henry. But in lieu of it being a holiday, and I'm going to be in a good mood, and I'm going to have a lot of food, and I'm going to have a lot of drinks, and I want to watch Derrick Henry do what
And some
Derrick.
convincing.
Yeah, exactly.
And some convincing.
And some convincing from Jesse. I'm taking Derrick Henry off the ban list, and I'm gonna be watching him run and gonna be excited to watch him run again. I'm taking Derrick Henry for 60 rush yards as the final leg, and if it sells me, Jesse owes me a 6 pack.
All right. You know
Because
what? Why does that not surprise me?
because if everything else hits but Derrick Henry, and I let you convince me to take him off the ban list for a 60-yard run against the Bengals, which he should realistically get because it's Derrick Henry and it's the Bengals, and he comes up at 59 yards, I'm going to be extremely angry, and I'm going to text you as soon as the game's over.
Well, That's why I'll be asleep because of all the Thanksgiving food.
You're not wrong. I might be asleep before the game's over too. All right, guys, but we wanted to have fun this episode. We've been chatting and having fun and cracking jokes. Come over to the TikTok, hang out with us. It's a lot easier for us to communicate with you guys in the TikTok. We're pretty lightning fast on the comments and getting back to you guys. Over here on the YouTube, it takes a little bit more time, just because we're both logged into the YouTube, and it for some reason YouTube takes a while to send us your comments and keep us updated on everything. So if you're watching this, just go over to TikTok. We're trying to grow the TikTok just as we are the YouTube. We're trying to get the YouTube channel to over 100 subs by say Christmas. If we can get there, fantastic. And if we not, we're going to keep doing this for you guys regardless. We are starting our sports channel journey, and we're not going to stop until we can make this our day job, so to speak. So you guys can help us get there. We're doing all this for you guys. Jesse, do you have anything else before we let everybody go to spend the day with their families and eat a bunch of food and have fun on Thanksgiving?
Um, for the winners for this week for Thanksgiving Day,
You
I've
do
got the
have that.
Packers, Chiefs, and the Ravens.
Sorry,
Packers, Chiefs, and Ravens.
I meant, sorry, I forgot you had a money line pick. I forgot all about
Dude, you're chill.
that.
You don't bother me.
So who did you have again?
I've got the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Ravens all to take home wins.
Okay, I like that. I'm not picking winners this week or for Thanksgiving, just because I don't know.
Good games, huh?
Yeah, there's some good games, and I can see upsets happening. I can see favorites just dominating. It is a good 3 game slate that they gave us for Thanksgiving. I'm actually excited the NFL was competent enough to give us good games for a holiday.
Yup.
All right.
Yup.
Any final words for anybody?
Nope. Not from me. Go check out the TikTok. Interact with vids. Thank you so much. Peace out from me.
All right, guys. So please subscribe. We're doing all this for you guys. And if you're listening, we are getting ready to set up a Patreon because we aren't at the subscriber count on TikTok or YouTube to make this our full-time day job and give you guys the best value for your money, so to speak, on picks quite yet, because we can't devote all of our time to stat watching and matchups because we do have day jobs. So if we set up a Patreon, is there anybody who would be, in for that? If you are, let us know in the comments or go over to the TikTok, let us know. We're probably going to be making announcements similarly on TikTok, asking people what they think. But go over to the TikTok. You guys can definitely get more engagement from me and Jesse over there. We put picks up daily, NBA, NFL, NHL, and then when if baseball season comes back around, we'll have baseball picks. We're planning on doing this all year round. Uh, Everybody, go have some fun, spend some time with your family, eat some food. Just have a good, safe Thanksgiving. Nobody get in any trouble. I'm about to get off here and actually go prep my turkey as we speak. So everybody, happy betting, have a happy holiday, and we'll see you guys later this week. We're gonna get out of here. See you later.